Saturn in Virgo, meaning, significance and personality traits. For those with Saturn Virgo, work is not separate from life, it is life. That's why this Saturn is happiest with a career that grows with them. There's a danger of getting stuck in a limiting job, and then agonizing over making a move. But you're likely to go through times of breaking out of old roles, and moving on to greener pastures. A lesson is that your passion for work doesn't have to narrow your world. And that when you've outgrown certain duties, it's worth the disruption and angst to move on. Face the fear of not being perfect. Since Saturn represents fear of change or defensives, in Virgo, this comes out as obsessive-compulsive disorder. You could be that guy that goes over a document 20 times, or freaks over a bit of clutter. You'll want to face the fear of not being perfect, tidy and in control at all times. Some Saturn Virgos deal with extreme worry, hypochondria or insecurity. And you might have a hard time winding down, especially after a busy, productive day. Your challenge is not to leave your whole self, including the body behind, as you go about your day. You can become a paragon of well-rounded moderation, over time. Saturn and what it means. Saturn relates to time, mortality, structure, and making sure everything is in place to get where you want to go. Saturn in the zodiac signs determines how you build your life structure. Saturn fares well in earnest, productivity-minded Virgo. This bestows a methodical nature, someone not afraid of working hard. It lends extraordinary patience, with the ability to keep a schedule others find tedious. A challenge with Saturn in Virgo is making work meaningful, linking all this effort to a higher sense of purpose. If there's a crisis during Saturn turning points, it could be related to this, aligning the higher calling with the day-to-day. The body is a central focus. An event or illness may make the body a central focus for those with this Saturn. There may be a physical limitation that tests their endurance. And because Saturn means lack, or delay, in Virgo there might have been little physical autonomy when young. A parent might have been overly involved in bodily functions, for example. The body system may have seemed out of whack, and often was mirroring the chaos of the home. Saturn in Virgo may have experienced a general lack of boundaries while growing up. The challenge, then, is to work back to a purified, whole unto oneself state. This may lead them on an odyssey to wholeness, to become healers or health professionals. Compulsive doer. In an effort to create structure, Saturn in Virgos may go overboard with compulsive habits that look neurotic to the outsider. There's a craving for an inner purpose, but often that seems elusive. The key to finding an anchor of the self lies with the body, and its particular intelligence. This can make Saturn in Virgos devoted to constantly refining their health regimen. Saturn's house position shows where these behaviors play out. For example, Saturn in the first house creates a charge to do with personality and self-image. Saturn in Virgo brings a focus on the intricate workings and how details add up to the big picture. It draws them into their own physical system, but also to the earth body, as well. Some are inspired to serve the environment. Through hard work, they can use their instinctual knowledge of how systems are linked, and be of service that way. Find your own authority. The dreadful word slave comes up with Virgo, and with Saturn here, there's often a rising up out of shackles of some kind. The full expression of Virgo is someone whose service comes like a gift from within their wholeness of self. Saturn's lessons are about finding your own authority. Having Saturn in Virgo may mean feeling used and abused, or always under someone's thumb. The victory comes when Saturn in Virgo finds personal power through self-healing. When they've cleaned up their act, they're ready to maintain this delicate balance by serving others. About the love side. While Saturn's influence may make the Saturn Virgo quite efficient at solving problems and completing tasks in the most productive manner possible, in a relationship, this can reach a level where it creates more problems than solutions. Whenever they take it too far with the rationality, they also end up disposing of the emotional aspect, and the partner will usually not take this very well. However, Virgos tend to be very affectionate and loyal, and will usually never overstep their boundaries. They are also very pragmatic, in that, the partner's need for respect and tenderness becomes obviously necessary, if problems are to be avoided. In exchange for their affectionate and tender behavior, these natives expect the partner to offer just as much love, if not more. Perfection is unattainable, and maybe they should acknowledge this little fact, because it's just not possible for both partners to understand each other that well. There are bound to be conflicts, from time to time. The good and the bad. If there is something that those born with Saturn in Virgo are good at, excellent as a matter of fact, it's their professional life. In truth, they excel in this regard, because Saturn brings their hardworking persona to the surface. With a sharp focus, and an unmovable confidence in their own abilities, they will complete every project with the same efficiency and productivity, just like a robot. The higher-ups are bound to notice this. Attentive to the details, thorough with the key elements, ambitious enough to look at failure as a form of learning, these natives aren't only bragging when they're saying they can multitask. On the other hand, this type of lifestyle can only lead to partially fulfilled life, one made up only of work, tedious routines, busy schedules, pressing problems, and problem solving. There is more out there than just that, and life must be lived to the maximum. They can be very detail-oriented individuals, who do well at picking out the flaws in certain patterns, and are able to identify the key points of a given situation pretty fast. With a critical sense, and a tendency to analyze everything, their professional life is all but assured. However, mental and physical health, as well as overall happiness, are equally important. They should go out more often, meet new people, have a fun time with friends, party until the morning sun comes out. If everything were that simple though. The Saturnian Virgos tend to be very introverted individuals, who prefer the company of their own minds, rather than taking part in any social events. Societal expectations inhibit their freedom, and put them in awkward situations most of the time, so they avoid them altogether. They should try to change this, because it's going to impact them on a serious note. The Saturn in Virgo man. Reliability is the greatest trait of a Saturnian Virgo man. When you have one in your life, you just know that, no matter what happens, they'll know exactly what to do, and how to find the perfect solutions. It might seem like the gibberish of a madman, when these natives start calculating the odds of a certain result coming up, but it works, so you leave them to do their thing. Moreover, they love living their lives on the peak of ecstasy, with comfort being an essential standard for them. Luxury may come as an extra element, with things like expensive clothes, exotic foods. Their taste is very refined, and only the best can impress them. This native's attention to details is very pleasing, because he'll definitely focus on you, his partner, most of the time. Appreciate and love him for what he does each and every day, because that's the only way you're going to keep him happy, and willing to continue with his attention. Even if he may become annoying at times, because he tends to criticize you, it'll be done with the best intentions, so it's not something very difficult to overcome. The Saturn in Virgo woman. Detail-oriented ladies, Virgos born in Saturn will often be statisticians, physicians, or mathematicians, archaeologists even. They can become obsessive in this regard, but this also means that they need to take a step back, and look at things from a different perspective. Expanding their view, this is what needs to be done. Through this love of details, they manage to further hone their abilities even more. Discovering their inner demons, facing them in open combat, and absorbing the resulting knowledge, will lead them onto a path to self-perfection. Saturn provides the guidelines for this lady's razor-sharp focus, and boundless working energy. There is enough horsepower here to last for an entire lifetime, but this also means that she must dedicate a lot of their time to discipline, to preparing herself for the worst. When they'll have to decide what path to choose, it'll be much easier if she has a general idea of the future she wants to build.